You want to become an artist but didn't get into art school? Maybe you're too intimidated to apply, or perhaps you're questioning whether art school is even necessary for success. Let me tell you this: your success doesn't depend on where you studied, who taught you, or your circumstances. It's shaped by your mindset, your dedication, and most importantly, your inner drive. In this video, I'll share one powerful mind shift that helped me unlock my potential, take control of my artistic journey, and create a path to success on my own terms. It's not about what's around you, it's about what's within you. Let's explore how to build your future as an artist, starting today. The power of a thought shift. Let me show you what I mean by a thought shift. It is a moment that challenges your perspective, flips it upside down, and changes how you see everything. To explain, I want to introduce you to a remarkable artwork: Piero Manzoni's Socle du Monde, Base of the World. This sculpture, created in 1961, is deceptively simple, a metal plinth placed in a park in Denmark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary pedestal for a statue, but when you look closer, you notice something strange. The text on the plinth is upside down. It reads Socle du Monde, the base of the world, or Der Socle der Welt. You look at it and suddenly it clicks. The pedestal isn't holding something above it. It's holding the entire earth, upside down. In that instant, your perspective shifts completely. The pedestal becomes a symbolic anchor, and the entire world transforms into the artwork itself. This is the power of a thought shift. A single, seemingly small piece of information, a flipped inscription, forces you to reimagine everything you thought you understood. It's the kind of insight that can reshape how you approach your work, your ideas, and your understanding of the world around you. When my journey began, let me share how a single thought shift, which happened entirely outside of art school, set my art career on the right path. I'll take you through my personal struggles from the early days and the turning point that changed everything. When I got accepted into art school, I was overjoyed. I thought, this is it. This is where everything begins. My dream of being an artist was finally coming true, and I was ready to immerse myself completely. But what happened next wasn't what I expected. At first, I painted and drew with excitement, inspired by the endless possibilities ahead. In the fine arts, there are no assignments. After all, it's called free art. That sounds liberating, but in practice, it's a significant challenge. You're expected to develop everything on your own, and as I worked in my studio, I started to feel an unsettling tension with my practice. Questions began to surface. What am I doing? Am I just reproducing art history? There are already so many paintings. Why should I add more? Is anyone even interested in what I'm creating? This inner struggle felt heavy, but at the same time, it felt right. Questioning myself during the process was uncomfortable, but it also made me feel like I was on the verge of something important. The problem was, I didn't know what to do next. My professor didn't help. In fact, his approach often felt counterproductive. He wasn't an active artist. His teaching felt more like a bureaucratic routine. He didn't participate in exhibitions, engage with contemporary art, or seem to grasp the shifts happening in the art world. Instead, he tried to impose his ideas on my work, ideas that didn't resonate with what I felt was right for me. If nothing else, his approach made one thing clear: I knew exactly what I didn't want to do. For nearly 1 year, I stopped painting entirely. I sketched occasionally and worked on small projects here and there, but most of my time was spent in the academy library. I read extensively, especially artist statements. I found it fascinating to learn how artists spoke about their processes, their interests, and their goals, and how those thoughts materialized into entirely different works of art. Then, one day, I stumbled across a book I had bought for just $1 at a flea market. It was by Franz Erhard Walther, a German artist, and his words shifted everything for me. Walther described his own experiences as a student, sitting in nature with his sketchbook. While his classmates eagerly filled page after page, he just sat there, questioning, what am I doing? Why am I drawing this? Does this even matter? What does a pencil line on paper even mean? And what is paper itself? Walther wasn't just creating, he was observing, analyzing, and reflecting. He was more focused on the thinking and observing process than on the act of producing itself. But because of this, he was misunderstood, not just by his professor, who didn't recognize the depth of his process, but also by his fellow students, who were more interested in the act of producing. Reading his words felt like hearing my own unspoken thoughts aloud. Walther wasn't interested in making art for the sake of it. He was fascinated by the why, the relationship between the artist, the work, and the viewer. That realization hit me like a wave. I didn't have to blindly produce work. I could question everything. I could approach my art analytically, with intention and thoughtfulness. For the first time, I felt truly understood. Someone had put into words what I had always felt but couldn't articulate, and this happened through a simple text I read in a book. It showed me that a shift like this can happen anywhere, at any moment. So keep an eye out for those moments of insight. This moment was more than just a shift in thought. It was a shift in my entire approach to art and creativity. Through a simple text, I realized that producing for the sake of producing wasn't the answer. Instead, understanding the why behind my work, questioning my process, and embracing thoughtful observation could unlock my true potential. Where does this actually come from? This realization didn't come from a professor, a lecture, or even an art school assignment. It happened in the most unexpected way, through a book I stumbled upon at a flea market. It taught me that your biggest breakthroughs often happen outside traditional paths, and they can strike anywhere, at any moment. If you're an artist or dreaming of becoming one, know that your journey doesn't need to follow a set formula. Whether you're in art school, considering it, or completely independent, your success comes from within. And while I've shared one of my most pivotal moments with you today, there's so much more to explore. In fact, in my video, How to Become a Pro Artist, I go deeper into the steps I took to build a sustainable art career. Be sure to check it out. It's linked here and in the description below. But this is just the beginning. In my upcoming videos, I'll show you how professional artists can become your mentors, offering guidance and insight as you grow. We'll explore practical ways to build your artistic community and take your craft to the next level. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Now, I want to hear from you. What's been the most transformative moment in your own artistic journey? Or, if you're just starting out, what challenges are you facing right now? Let's start a conversation in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, the next step is just one click away. Watch How to Become a Pro Artist now and start shaping your path today. See you there.